This morning started off strong. I stepped directly on this. Stepping on this was worse than stepping on a Lego. I literally stepped on this part. It's like pointy. I use these bones when I'm making bone broth, and then when I'm done, I give them to Elo, and she likes to stash them all over the house. But I feel like waking up and stepping on a bone kind of sums up my mornings recently. They've been a little bit chaotic, but I've been coming back to my calming morning routine and my non-negotiables. I've been following a new morning routine for most of the summer and I've really fallen in love with it. This is a perfect routine if you have a busy schedule but you still want to prioritize your wellness. One of my non-negotiables recently has been starting the day with a high protein breakfast. When I'm waking up and I'm eating a high protein breakfast, I have so much more energy. I'm not reliant on caffeine. I also have more sustained energy throughout the entire day. This morning, I'm going to be making protein pancakes, but I'm not gonna be making them with protein powder. I'm gonna be making them with cottage cheese. I love sweet breakfasts and then I also love savory breakfasts. So I'm actually gonna make this savory. Also, this morning I went and picked this gorgeous orange from the garden and lemon. I love that it's summer now and just like all of these fruits and veggies are ready to be picked from our garden. The cottage cheese that I'm using is just this one. It's organic and it has probiotics in it and it's made with whole milk and it has 14 grams of protein in every single serving. And let's just double check. Serving is half a cup. So we're going to be using a whole cup of this. So 28 grams of protein. Last night, I actually tried the viral cottage cheese and beef recipe and it was so good. So that's just 1 cup of cottage cheese and then we're gonna crack 2 eggs into here. And then I did about 2 stalks of green onion and I chopped this as finely as I could. We're gonna add some garlic powder, probably like half a teaspoon of this. Pepper, this is just to taste. If you don't like pepper, you can skip this. And then I'm adding some Himalayan salt. You're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of flour. I'm using gluten-free flour here just because that's all I have. And then half a teaspoon of baking powder. And then you're just going to whisk all of this together. I'm gonna make a homemade sauce to go on top of these pancakes. So I'm just gonna be taking some plain yogurt. I don't have a ton of this left, so I'm just gonna scoop what I do have. I'm gonna do some olive oil, probably about a tablespoon. I think that was a little bit more. I like mine really lemony, so I'm gonna do about 2 tablespoons. And then we'll just do some salt and pepper. I wish I had fresh parsley, but I don't. Also, fresh dill or chives would be really good in this. I just don't have any of that. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. And then all you do is just shake it up. I like to make pancakes with butter, so I'm just gonna melt some grass-fed butter in here. Honestly, don't be shy with the butter. I feel like it makes the pancakes crisp a little bit better, which is what we want. I ended up transferring this into a blender because I wanted a really watery pancake texture, and in the future I'm just gonna make it in the blender. I'm so bad at flipping pancakes. You're going for this like golden brown kind of color on both sides. These pancakes are so good, and you can easily meal prep these. If you were gonna meal prep them, you might wanna like 3 or 4x the recipe, and then just cook the pancakes and keep them in your refrigerator in like a container. And then you can also easily prep the sauce so that this comes together in like 30 seconds. But I really, really like these pancakes. They're super high in protein, but you're also eating pancakes, which usually feel pretty naughty and also sometimes can like make your stomach hurt because it's just like really heavy and sweet. And then it kind of takes that and makes it healthy. I think I might like these more than regular pancakes. They're so good. There's a slight tang to them from the cottage cheese. And then I've also been eating 2 Brazil nuts every single day. These are good for your fertility and also for your hormones, and they're delicious also. I am heading to the gym. Today is booty day. I'm really working on isolating my glute and my hamstring muscle. So doing exercises that are targeting my upper and lower glute muscle. I started consistently working out probably 5 years ago, and I've definitely gone through different phases. When I first started working out, I really loved going to the gym. I would put on my headphones and I would do like workouts that I found on YouTube, and I would just like go to like a private area in the gym and do that. And then I fell in love with going to classes, and I just like found studios that I loved, and I just only went to classes. Now I feel like I'm like back in my gym era. I forgot how much I love going to the gym, putting on my headphones, putting on my favorite music, and like getting in the zone. I dropped my water bottle so hard, like right after I filled it with water. And I actually thought that I like busted a hole in my floor, but the floor was fine. The water bottle slightly dented. I always like to start my workout with stretching. Stretching is so good for you, and I have noticed such a huge difference. When I'm stretching, I feel better. My spine literally feels different than when I'm not stretching. And then I also feel like stretching is just really good so you don't accidentally hurt yourself when you're working out. Since I was training glutes today, I really just wanted to make sure that I stretched my legs properly. And then I went into these little lunge style squats. I'm trying to push myself more with trying new weights that are a little bit uncomfortable for me. So here I was using 20 pounds on each side. And although it wasn't super heavy for me, but it did feel heavy by set 3. I'm still trying to figure out how much weight I use for different machines and different exercises, and I do feel like it's a learning progress to figure out what you're comfortable with and what is gonna make you sore or give you the best results. So here I did 45 pounds on each side. And then I did this little core workout. I have this thing when I get in the gym, I always get really motivated to do a way harder workout than I had planned for. Every single move that I did 3 sets of 10. It's so easy to accidentally do something embarrassing or do a move wrong. And this happened to me this week where I literally strapped my foot into something the wrong way and a trainer came over to help me. And of course it was a little embarrassing, but everybody starts somewhere and it's okay to be a beginner. I came home really quick to grab the dog for a walk and also to turn on the sauna. And then I put these little armbands on for the walk. Yesterday I wore them on my legs, and I think I just want to alternate. One day is walking with them on my legs, one day is walking with them on my arms. I think they're like 2.5 pounds each, but they actually like get kind of heavy after a while. My morning walk has become my favorite part of like my new summer morning routine. This wasn't a part of my morning routine for so long, and I don't know why. Going on a morning walk makes you feel so good. It gives you so much energy. You're releasing natural endorphins while you're doing this. You're getting your zone 2 cardio. You're getting some vitamin D. For me, it just like puts me in a different state of mind. Not every single day I will go to the gym in the morning. Sometimes I'm going to yoga or Pilates classes, and I usually take those in the afternoon. So this is usually my first workout or like movement of the day. And I've just fallen in love with these long walks in the morning. This is my favorite walk ever. I love walking around all the palm trees and hearing the sound of the ocean, and I'm actually gonna stop bringing my headphones with me because I love the sound of the waves, and I feel like it's good to sometimes just hear like your natural environment, and it could be really grounding. New friends! Oh, your dogs are so cute. Thank you. We're doing off-leash training, so this is a good park to do that. Thank you. I always want to go swimming and do like a natural cold plunge. And then it's like the morning of, and I'm like, oh, it's too cold and I don't want to. And then I always get out here on my walk and I'm like, I wish I was wearing my bathing suit because it's so hot. So maybe tomorrow. I love doing a morning sauna, especially after I've done a workout and a walk, because I need to shower anyway. I also love doing this in the evenings, but if I have time in the morning, it's one of my favorite ways to start the day. I've been in here for like 15 minutes and I just started pouring sweat. I practice deep belly breaths when I'm in here, and I just took a little video clip of what it looks like, but basically you breathe really, really slowly and through your nose and into your stomach, and so your stomach will expand. And then when you exhale out really slow out of your mouth, so hard until basically your stomach kind of flexes a little bit, and then you go again. And if you try to breathe in through your nose too fast in a sauna, it's actually like painful, it hurts. And so you really have to focus on breathing slow and practicing that controlled breath work. I've been in here for like 28 minutes and I think I'm just gonna push it for like 30 seconds more. I feel like the last 30 seconds are always the hardest because it's a mental block. It's like you think that you can't, but you really can. 28 minutes is really good, and I normally don't go for this long. I just felt like I haven't been in the sauna in a really long time and I just needed to sweat it all out. You can see literally my stomach is dripping wet and my legs are literally soaking. It's really good to sweat this much because we're getting out all of the toxins in our body, and especially nowadays there's so many toxins in literally everything. We have like microplastics, we have like heavy metals that are like in water and like in food. Like there's just so many things that are toxic, and our body like has a natural system of detoxifying, and it does this through the liver, and then it also does this when we're like working out and sweating, but it also like kicks into overdrive when we get into the sauna. So it's really important to sauna so that you can rid your body of toxins. I don't usually record when I am working just because I feel like it's really boring. I used to really struggle with hustle culture, and I thought that from the time that I woke up to the time that I went to sleep, I needed to be working and making money and monetizing some way. And if I wasn't making money, I wasn't being productive, and therefore it was a waste of time. And I lived like this for several years until I started experiencing burnout. I was procrastinating on the tasks that I needed to get done. I was consuming so much caffeine. I was literally just over-consumed by work. I wasn't prioritizing my own wellness or my own mental health. And I thought that's what it took to be successful, was just hustling 24/7. And then I hit a moment where I completely burned out, and I was like, I don't know, why am I doing this to myself? I don't even know what I like doing anymore because I'm just working all the time. And that's when I started making myself a priority again and finding more balance between work and life. And I feel like it's so easy if you're running your own business to let that work-life balance get really out of hand because you want it to work out. But I've never felt better than I do now that I'm actually prioritizing myself. I know it's so cliche, but self-care is productive. It's actually taken me some time to be able to feel okay with not always being extremely productive every single second of the day. So every day looks different for me for work. Today I am going to get outside. I'm gonna go to one of my favorite cafes. I'm gonna have an iced coffee and enjoy the weather and also work and do all of my computer work that I need to do today. And after doing all of my wellness activities, I feel like I'm in such a good headspace to be productive and also be creative. But after living the life where I completely burn myself out in the name of success and productivity, I can guarantee you that that's not the only way to go about it. And most people who are very successful, they don't treat their bodies like machines, because we're not machines, we're humans. And you don't have to monetize every single second of your life or feel like you're behind because you're not as productive as someone else is that day. I'm all about being productive and getting stuff done, but I'm no longer about being productive in a way that ruins your mental or physical health in the name of checking things off of a to-do list. I don't think I'm gonna wear any makeup. I'm just gonna put on some sunscreen. This is my favorite. It's in my Amazon storefront. It's expensive, but worth it. I actually like to apply it with a makeup brush though. I ended up walking to one of my favorite cafes and having an iced coffee, and I also ended up ordering a sandwich, and I worked here for about 3.5 hours. I usually will just work from home, but sometimes it feels so good to just get out and get in a different environment. And sometimes it makes me so much more creative or productive because I just feel more locked in. There's less distraction. And that concludes my summer morning routine, focusing on things that make me feel like the best version of myself while also still being productive and getting things done. Every day looks different, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.